here's the funny thing. I don't know if everybody knows this or not. None of my double digits came on the scope. I learned to fish a different way than this current generation learned to fish. And it's not so much that I don't think that scope is valuable. I understand and appreciate what it brings to the industry.
Absolutely.
And what it brings to us, to the people that choose to utilize it.
There's so many perspectives to this. Guides. Makes their jobs a million times easier.
Well, it makes it a almost tangible. You want a double digit? I think I can get you one.
You get a car! You get a car! You get a car!
Right.
Or at least I can show you one.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
right?
We can
Back
go
in the day, it was like, are we even around them?
Right?
You know?
John Shin and myself, in collaboration with Big Bass Dreams, are going to be hosting this podcast. We're also doing live streams, and the first one is going to be December 5th at 4 p.m. Central Time. And y'all can tune in live on the Big Bass Dreams YouTube page. We're going to be going through the comments, looking at everyone's responses and stuff to the stuff we're going to be talking about. And we're also going to be posting clips here and there on my page, John's page, and a whole bunch of other places. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a really, really big event. We're going to be taking off and ripping off bandages off the fishing industry, exposing it for some of the maybe more controversial things. It's definitely not for the cupcakes of the world. So definitely, if you want to see all this drama unfold, head over to the Big Bass Dreams YouTube page. We're going to link it down below, and all the videos coming up here, and you can tune in live and chat with us, talk about some cool stuff about the fishing industry. So guys, hopping back into it, we got the top 5 cold water wintertime baits that I love fishing. These are my personal favorites that I like to bring out during this time of the year when the water temp starts to dip below 60 to around 62, 63. So here we go. Let's go ahead and hop into it. My number 1 bait that I typically like to use in the winter fall time is going to be this right here. This is a Strike King Rage Menace. This is the full-size Menace grub here. It's going to have the twin grub tails on it, and it's also going to have a nice compact body. Now, in the wintertime, a lot of people always say size down, and what they really mean by that is go a little more finesse. You don't have to size down, just typically size down the amount of action your plastic has. So my 2 favorite baits from Strike King are going to be, of course, the Rage Craw, which has some really big pinchers, really aggressive pinchers on it, and then the Rage Menace here for the cooler times of the month. It's a more finessey approach. It's still going to have the bulk of the Rage Craw, however, it's going to have some more subtle kickers on it. So the Rage Menace here, I love throwing on just a Texas rig. It works as a amazing finesse jig trailer on like a ball head. You can cut it down a little bit. These darker tones, this color here specifically is just black and blue flake, guys. These darker tones work amazing in the winter time. Obviously, there's not as much sunlight throughout the day, so a lot of things are starting to darken up. Your bluegill, when you pull them out, if they're in dirtier water, they're going to be a lot lighter, but if you're in normal, clean-ish water, those bluegill get super, super dark, and this is kind of what they look like, and this is what a Rage Menace can imitate on the bottom. So if you're going along, you still have some buckbrush. Those fish like to get in it, especially in the fall time as they wait there and ambush bluegill. This is a great imitator for that. Like I said, the twin kickers on it are very, very finessey, and it's just one of my favorite approaches on like a Texas rig or a finesse jig. Now, next up, another craw bait here is going to be the Chigger Craw from Berkeley. This is the max scent version. This is the 4-inch. Now, in the summertime and in the springtime, I really love that 3-inch one. That's really, really small. Great for, again, Texas rigs, finesse jigs, and stuff like that. This one here, I will typically just throw on a finesse jig and a Carolina rig. This bait here has a little bit more bulk. It's going to be very similar to something like a Rage Craw. However, the pinchers on it are going to be a whole lot different. So instead of having the kicking action of a Rage Craw, it's going to have more of a flowy action, and that is a lot more finesse to the fish. It's going to allow you to get a whole lot more bites, and of course the max scent on here, I mean, guys, max scent definitely works in my opinion. It says you catch 45% more fish. I don't know if that's quite true, but you're definitely getting a lot more bites and having those fish hold onto your plastic a whole lot longer. I can go down the bank with this, just flipping a Texas rig. I love it, like I said, on a Carolina rig, off deep on something like a point, or a hump or maybe a submerged piece of structure or cover. So that is my number 2 pick for the wintertime. Now, number 3, a lot of people don't know about these right here. This is the Lake Fork Trophy Lures, and this is called the needleworm. Now, this worm right here is 9 inches long. Lake Fork Trophy Lures is super awesome. They've got some amazing people over there, and this needleworm is exactly what you think it is. It is literally just a straight piece of plastic that's tapered down into the shape of a needle. This one here is red bug. They make a whole lot of colors. They're garlic and salt impregnated in it. So it really, really smells like garlic. My hands are gonna smell like garlic for quite a while. But this is an amazing Carolina rig bait, amazing shaky head bait. You can even Nico rig with this. One of my favorite JDM lures that I have been experimenting with from Daiwa and Evergreen is the bow worm. The bow worm is very, very similar to something like this, where it's a very floppy plastic. It's a very small profile. This is great for throwing into brush piles when those fish get into them. Great for throwing wacky rigged or Nico rigged into trees, especially in denser cover. Comes through very, very easily. Highly recommend something like a rebarb hook on a drop shot. You can do a whole lot of different techniques with this, and I highly recommend you to try this out in the wintertime. Again, the Lake Fork Trophy Lures needleworm, one of my favorite worm style baits to throw and drag on the bottom. Now, who's to say you can't, like I said, Nico rig it or just weightless rig it, and you can flutter it under docks, around slips, and stuff like that. Now, this is the only swim bait that I have on this list. I do absolutely love a soft swim bait. However, I think that's in a little bit of a separate category. This one here is just going to be more of your typical paddle tail. This one here is the Divine Swim Bait 3.2 Clearwater Rose. By far one of my favorite swim baits of all time. It has that tail section that skinnies down a whole lot to where the tail kicks very, very easily. You can work it at very, very slow speeds, and the plastic on it is very soft. It does rip a little easier, however, it is very soft and it has a very lifelike action to it. It has a great body roll going through the water like a cold water fish does. They kind of go side to side like this, a lot slower, a lot more lethargic, and you can really slow it down with a around 3/16 or quarter ounce jig head. Something like a ball head is amazing. You can throw this on A-rigs. You can do anything that you'd put a swim bait on. You can put it on a chatterbait in the wintertime, fish it around docks and slips and stuff like that. You can work it on a spinnerbait. You can put it in around big timber if you're around that, or you can just drag it on the bottom on something like a wobble head or a Texas rig. That works perfectly fine as well. So the Divine Swim Bait by 6 cents, 3.2 inch, super, super amazing, guys. So definitely check them all out. I'm gonna link them down below in the description. Now we've got another pretty new item here that you probably haven't even heard about yet, and this is the Yamamoto Senko. Heard that right. This is the Yamamoto Senko. However, this one here is a 5-inch fat Senko, and what's awesome about this is it has a ton more salt in it than the regular Senko. So check it out here. It is very, very, very fat. It almost looks a lot bigger than a typical 5-inch, and that's just because it's a lot more girthy. It has a lot more weight in it, and this is great for wacky rigging. This is great for dragging on the bottom. You can cut it in half, use it as a Ned rig, but this right here moves a ton of water as it wobbles down throughout the water column. This is gonna be more for your fish that are set up on specific structure. If you're fishing a brush pile, if you're fishing around docks or slips or something like that. If you've got a rock pile, this is great. You can throw this out there, slowly work it on something like a flick shake head or something like that. And it can be extremely, extremely deadly. Don't be afraid to Texas rig this and just drag it around because it is a bigger profile, a lot more. It's still very finesse, but it's a lot bigger profile for those fish to find, especially in the wintertime. In the wintertime, they're chasing a lot bigger, not chasing, they're hunting down a lot bigger bait. The bigger bait allows them to get more of a meal. Instead of chasing around small, nimble bait, they're gonna focus on your bigger baits here in just a little bit. Right now, they're still focusing on what I find are gonna be your smaller bait fish. However, here in just a little bit, the light is going to switch, and they are going to be chasing those bigger gizzard shads. That's when your really big glide bait starts to play. That's when your really big swim bait bite really plays as they get ready for the pre-spawn, as we're looking here in about 2 to 2.5 months in February. So we're definitely looking forward to that. If you enjoyed this video, guys, leave a like on it. We really appreciate it. We're coming up on 2,000 subscribers, and we're going to be doing a huge giveaway. We've reached our goal of 2,000 extremely fast. The first 1,000 was super awesome. We did a great giveaway for that one. Gave away a bunch of baits, some hats, and stuff like that. So 2,000, we're going to keep it just as awesome. We love every single one of you. If you do place online orders, guys, we got free shipping for orders over $50. We really appreciate seeing them all come in. Keeps us busy here at this shop, and we love making these videos for you, showcasing a lot of these cool products that we have. If you're interested in JDM products, BFS products, swim bait products, we're getting them in constantly. So stay tuned with the social media, Instagram and Facebook at Lake Pro Tackle. And guys, if you did enjoy it, leave a like on it, and we will see you next time at Lake Pro Tackle. See you guys.